a vivir para ti. El culpable soy yo por tener corazón, por regalarte mi alma. Qué lindo, yo perdí el corazón y perdí la razón.
¿Qué país?
De Estados Unidos.
Estados Unidos.
United States.
Estados Unidos.
Estados Unidos. Pero yo vivo acá.
Cántale,
Había calle.
Sí, yo vivo acá.
de Nirvana, cántale, pues.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Trade and Travel Tuesdays, and I want to say happy 2024, happy New Year's to everybody out there. I'm wishing you all happiness, health, and financial prosperity. Speaking on that financial prosperity portion, learning how to read these charts has done that for me, and it has allowed me to trade and travel, and you can do the same thing. And as I stated in the previous video, I do have a course on the way, and it will allow you to learn that skill set to read these charts and to help you reach your goals financially that may change your life. So let's jump into these charts and let's look at my favorite stock picks for this week and beyond. All right, so the first company we have here, this is McDonald's. You all know McDonald's, Happy Meals, Chicken McNuggets, McFlurries. We all know McDonald's. So now here is the daily chart, and right now McDonald's is, as you can see up here, $296.51. That's the last price of McDonald's. Now on this chart, you see here it touched this line and rejected. And then let's go to the right here. It went up into this zone, this red box here. This is a zone that I marked. It came down to this line again, jumped back up into this zone, came back down again to this line, went up a bit, came down a little bit, went up, and then popped all the way back down, right? Then it rolls all the way back up, and we're back up here now. So what I'm looking for, let's go to the right just a bit. I'm looking to see if we're gonna get a ride back down at least to this zone right here, this line, 281.32 is this line here. So as we can see, this line, the stock has reacted off of it in the past, and now it's a possibility that it could keep on pushing through. But we want to keep an eye on McDonald's. Keep an eye on it, because if we start to ride back down, there's a great possibility that we'll come back down here to the 281 zone. And if we start to ride down, we can buy puts and we can make money as the stock declines. So let's keep an eye on McDonald's. Let's see what happens over the next few days. But if we come back down, we can make money as the stock declines. The next pick we have is UPS. Now UPS, this chart is also interesting because if we go back in history, let's go back. All right, here's a wide view. This is also the daily chart, and this is going back to 2020. All right, so You see we had, let's zoom in here for you so you can see this a little bit better. But you can see back here in September of 2020, we had a touch to this line of 155.51. So this zone, the 155 zone, back in 2020, September 2020, we had a touch here. And then let's go to October 2020. We had another touch here, or actually a few touches. We went back up, and here we had touches as well. So this was support for a while, all right? And this is January 2021, February 2021. We had some touches down to that line, and we popped back up here over $200. So now currently UPS, the last price was $157.23 right here. All right, so now let's go over, and as we can see, that same line, we had a touch, and this was October 2022. And what happened? The stock popped back up again. All right, so we were up here for a while, we came back down. All right, so we came back down. We actually pushed through this line, but it popped back up, came down a bit, came back up, then it dropped down, and now we're up here in this area currently. So keep an eye on UPS, because we very well could get a push back to the upside. Since it did push back up through this zone, this line, we may stay above this line and ride the wave back up to make money. Now, again, it could go back down through this line, but we had, as you can see here, let's zoom in a bit closer. We had some increasing volume here, and we jumped through this line with some strength, I would say. So, and we're still above it. It's holding. So, being that it's holding, let's keep an eye on this, because I believe we may push to the upside. So the area that it's in now could be a great opportunity for to get into some call positions to make money on the way up. So UPS, keep an eye there. NVIDIA. I'm still watching NVIDIA because it's very interesting as well. We are, as you can see, let's zoom. Okay, here we go. Now, we're still up here close to this resistance zone. Still close to it. So NVIDIA, I feel like we may come back to the downside, at least to this 450 zone, at least, because it's not finding the strength to push through this line. If it does, we wait for it to push through the line, retest the line, and go back up. That's the only way we buy calls right now on NVIDIA, in my opinion. Until then, we're looking at puts, and we want to see if this thing is going to start to climb down, not climb down, shoot down, and come down to this 450 zone at least. We could go further down, so we can get into some put positions and make money as NVIDIA declines. But again, if it breaks through this line here, we wait for the breakthrough and the retest, and then we get in on the retest for the ride back up. So keep a close eye on NVIDIA as well. Next pick that I like, back to Tesla as well, because Tesla is still above this line here, this trend line. So let's talk about this. This line here on the previous Trade and Travel Tuesday, I mentioned Tesla, and if you see what's happening, we were below this line. This trend line was resistance. So every time it touched it, it rejected back down off of it. Here we pushed through the line, and now what I'm waiting for is a retest of the trend line. And as you can see, it's likely gonna happen. Right now, the last price of Tesla was $248.48. Right now we have, let's see, we're right here, of course. So now I'm just looking for 240. If we can get close to 240, I like that for an entry, for a ride to the upside. So once it retests this line, I'm looking for a push back to the upside. So all I'm waiting for, we have a few more dollars to go, but I'm just waiting for the touch and the push back up. So keep a close eye on Tesla, and once we get close to that 240 zone, I'm going to be looking to jump into some call positions as well. Next, we have, I'm going to type this one in, we have Chevron. All right, let's talk about Chevron. So we zoom out a bit. This is where we are currently. And Chevron, you see this zone here, this green box here. Now, we had a touch here back in February of 2022, and look at the strength. Look at the volume here. So much volume came in, and we had a strong push to the upside. We came back down to the zone here in July of 2022, and what happened? Another strong push to the upside. Now we are currently in this area here, with the last price of Chevron being 149.16. What I'm waiting for, as you can see, I've got my zone marked in this dotted line. I'm waiting for this to come down into this zone, into the low 130s. If we can get Chevron into the low 130s, I like that for calls, for a ride back up. So we want to be patient and wait for Chevron to come down into the low 130s for an entry for calls, and we'll get a ride to the upside. Let's jump into the next stock. We have Eli Lilly. Now, Eli Lilly, here's a triangle that I've drawn, and in my course I talk about triangles and the importance of those. But the triangle, we had a touch at the top of the triangle, another touch here, and then we started to break down a bit. And we actually broke through the bottom of this triangle, as you see here. Now, what happens a lot of times is it'll break through the triangle, the bottom of it, retest the bottom line, and then head back to the downside. So we want to look out for that. It's a possibility that it could continue upward into for another touch to the top of this triangle. However, this is showing some weakness right here, and it hasn't pushed back up. So I'm looking for a bounce back down. So Eli Lilly, just watch that, because it's at an interesting level right now. And from the way it looks, let's zoom in a bit. You can see these last two candles were some indecision in the market. So we can go either way right now, but I feel like we're gonna head downward a bit, not up. Let's jump into the next stock. And the last one we have here for you is PBF Energy. The first touch was back here, December of 2021. We had the first touch on this trend line. We fast forward, the second touch was May of 2023. The third touch was December 2023, right? And now we're here. The last price was $43.96, and now I'm waiting for a retest of the trend line, which would be the fourth touch, and we want to enter there for calls for a ride to the upside. So I like PBF Energy, but we want to wait until this trend line is retested for the fourth touch. We get in there. That's the safest entry. All right, so everybody, that's it. Just wanted to go over those picks for you. Of course, we'll be back next Tuesday with some more stock picks. And hey, everybody, again, Happy New Year's. Ciao.